Okay, so timeline natin for this week would be the design of tension members part 1. Okay. Um, I know na last week we have discussed yung dalawang topic, no, dalawang chapter. Yung chapter 1, which is Introduction to Steel Design, wherein we discuss yung advantages and disadvantages ng steel structure, design process, yung design philosophy, and yung example on how to calculate, no, yung different section properties. On the chapter 2 naman, we have discussed yung loads and load combination, wherein we detailedly discuss yung mga consideration on how dead loads and live loads should be properly calculated, no, on our structures. And we also discuss how load combinations for the LRFD and ASD load design procedures should be used. Okay? Now, I know na excited na kayo mag-design, no? So ito na yun, no? Mag-start na tayong mag-design ng structures. But to give you an idea, no? Yung mga topic natin for the rest of the design would be action-based or behavior-based. So what do you mean by that, no? So you could see na yung unang topic natin is design of tension members, no? So tension tayo. Then we would proceed on compression members, flexural and uh, columns. We're in sa columns na yun eh. Parang combined na yan eh. Combined forces na yung consideration dyan. No? Um, Sige, let's proceed dun sa ano natin. Okay, so these are the learning outcome for this session. We would enumerate example ng tension structures. We would differentiate yung common mode of failure for tension members like the yielding and rupture. We would also consider the effect yung shear lag on our calculations, and we would determine the black shear capacity of a given connection, perform rod and cable design, and obviously at the end of this chapter, you should be able to ano no solve any tension members problem using ASD and LRFD. Okay? So again, we would divide itong topic na to into two parts, no? Medyo mahaba kasi yung topic under the umbrella of tension members. So, hopefully matapos natin hanggang shear lug design. Okay? So, we would fast track our discussion. These are the readings for this chapter. Skip ko na to. Okay, recap lang tayo mabilisan, no? For the sake of those students na hindi nakated nung chapter 1 and chapter 2, let's have a quick recap of uh, this slides from the previous discussion, no? We mentioned na we have two design procedure na available as per NSTP 2015, that is LRFD and ASD. And the fundamental requirement of the code is that the required strength, no, should always be less than or equal the available strength. Now, don't be confused. Kapag sinabing required strength, we're dealing about the strength due to ano, no, to applied loads. Okay? And then when we say available strength, ito yung strength due to material specification, yung mga member sizes, so on and so forth. No? So we also mentioned or we compared using this figure yung dalawang design philosophy. So for LRFD and ASD, na we mentioned na yung counterpart ng required strength is R sub U for LRFD and R sub A naman for ASD. And if we would expound further, yung available strength, ang counterpart niya is yung P sub N times the nominal, no, capacity R sub N. Similarly for ASD, yung nominal capacity R sub N divided by the omega sub N. No? Gusto ko lang i-explain na yung mga notation na ginagamit natin dito is pwede mong palitan, no? Depende kung ano yung forces in consideration. Like, for example, if we're talking about moment, so pwede natin sabihin na to na M sub U, no? Or ito is M sub A, or ito namang nominal as M sub N. Similarly, if it's shear, so ganun din, no? V sub U, or V sub A, V sub N. So, overall, itong formula natin na to, it's ano, no? General in terms of a sense, no? Okay? Um, we need to we need to be aware na kapag LRFT, yung subscript na ginagamit natin for the required strength, no, is R sub U, no? U ang ginagamit nating subscript. Kapag naman ASD, A yung ginagamit nating subscript doon sa required strength. So, yung clue natin na binanggit natin kanina, kapag sa problem hindi given, no? And then ang tanong doon is design strength. So automatic 'yon, ang counterpart niya is yung R sub U, meaning we need to use LRFD, no? Load combo. On the other hand, if it was mentioned na we're looking for allowable strength, so we need to use ASD naman. Okay? So yun yung mga clue. Okay? Again, no, if you would expound further itong nasa left-hand side for LRFT, it would results into the gamma sub I multiplied by Q sub I, which is yung gamma sub I, yan yung tinatawag nating load factor, no? Load factor. So, iba't ibang types of load, may corresponding load factor. Depende sa load combination na gagamitin mo. Okay? And then yung Q sub I, ito lang yung different types of load like dead load, live load, so on and so forth. Now, on the other hand, if we would compare with the ASD, it's simply as the addition of all loads considered dun sa problem natin. Okay? And then, just to take note, if we're dealing with LRFD, obviously, we would use factored loads, no? And if it's ASD, we would use service loads, no? So, ang ibang term na ginagamit sa service load is unfactored, no? Unfactored loads. Okay? So, obviously, yung under strength natin dito, which is itong P sub N, no? Itong omega sub n, under strength din yung tawag dyan, no? Was multiplied for LRFD and divided naman pagdating kay ASD, no? Ang tawag natin dito sa under strength ng LRFD is the strength reduction factor, while on the ASD naman, ang tawag natin is safety factor, no? Okay? So, yung overall, the LRFD is based on probability and si ASD is based on safety factors or experience and based na rin sa judgment ng ng mga engineer. Okay? We also show itong itong different values ng resistance factor and safety factor, no, depending on the limit state or the mode of failure. So we would check or use yung ibang value dito mamaya. Okay? Skip na natin to. In terms of the material properties, we mentioned na kahit hindi ito ibigay, no, yung mga values na to, kapag sinabing A36, dapat alam mo yung corresponding niya, no? Yield stress Fy and tensile stress F sub. Okay? Punta tayo ngayon on the our very own topic for today, no, tension structures. So quick lang, review on in terms of actions, no. Say for example, we have a member like so, and we applied a load P, no, on one end. So may magre-resist dun sa kabilang end. So that is an opposite in terms of direction, no. So axial force. So okay, mga simple definition lang muna tayo, no. Axial force is a force that acts in the direction of longitudinal axis of an object, no? And tensile axial load, okay? Ayun naman yung no? Axial load ka nga, pero ang direction mo is outward, no? From the joints nung member mo, okay? So ang effect niya, it would elongate linearly. Okay? And yung tension members na tinatawag, ito yung mga structural elements that is subjected to axial uh, or tensile axial load or forces. Okay? So ano-ano ba yung mga example ng structures na commonly under the influence of no, tension tension or tensile load. Okay? So ito yung common na alam nyo, no? Yung tinatawag nating trusses, di ba? Trusses. So ang assumption kasi sa trusses as discussed on your structural theory is that yung joints mo, no, ay yung idealization ni structural theory, yung joints mo is pin connected, no? Kapag sinabing pin connected or hinge connection, zero moment, no? No, it cannot transfer moment. So meaning kung zero moment 'yan, yung member mo could only carry axial load. So kapag sinabing axial load, dalawa lang naman 'yan, no? It's either uniform tension or uniform compression. Okay? Now, in terms of trusses, for example, on this figure, it's a bridge truss, no? In reality, no, meron talagang, just to give you an idea, meron talagang moment sa members mo. Specifically itong bottom chord, no, and yung top chord mo, meron talagang moment itong straight member na to, no. So, and then most likely ang naka-axial load lang talaga yung mga web members mo. Okay? So dito, as you can see on the figure, may mga different terminology na ginagamit on bridge truss. So paki-familiarize na lang on your own, no? Okay? Gusto ko lang i-point out for a bridge truss, for us to connect our members, gumagamit tayo usually ng gasset plate, no? Like so. So yung plate na to, dyan binobolts yung mga structural or truss members natin. Okay? So we could construct our desired truss configuration. Okay? Another tension structures, no, yung roof truss, okay? Sa buildings, no, roof truss sa bubong yan, okay? Bracing system, so ito yung itong cord na to or tension rod na yan, ang purpose niyan is to hold in place yung pinaka mga trusses mo, no? Especially sa wind load, okay? Buckling restraint brace, no? Ang tawag dito sa diagonal member na yan, which is usually makita nyo sa mga parking structures, is buckling, no? Restraint brace or BRB. So ang purpose niyan is to uh, eliminate or sabihin nating minimize the deflection or lateral deflection ng structure mo due to seismic or wind loads. Okay? Guide tower, bridge trusses, as we have mentioned, and suspended support. So dito naman sa suspended support, ang kinoconsider natin intention, yung tension rod, no, or yung cables holding sabihin natin utilities, no, pwedeng water or electrical or mechanical, no. Similarly, no, an additional yung sa sagrad natin, no, sa mga bubong natin, holding the purlins, no. So usually intention 'yan. Kasi 'di ba kapag rad ka or sabihin nating lubid ka, no? Ang lubid kasi matik 'yan, tension lang ang kayang i-resist niyan eh, no? Hindi yan magre-resist ng compression load, okay? Okay? So dito pagdating naman dito sa truss cord sa mga bubong din, okay? Usually nakikita. So yan, yun daw bottom cord mo under the influence of tension load. Okay? Similarly sa connection like on lap splice ng mga plate, no? So intention din yan, no? Ito naman sa connection ng girder, no? To girder or beam to beam yan. Usually kapag wini-weld or binobolt yung mga plates mo, yung bottom plate as observed dito um, kay trusses mo, yung bottom plate mo would be in tension, no? So, i-design mo din siya on tension forces, no? So, hindi lang tayo basta sa member, doon din tayo sa connection. Okay, again, yung mga suspended structure, no? Tension in hanger. Ito, naulit lang to, no? Yung sa mga braces ng ating building. So, yung braces kasi, ang tawag dyan, depende kung ano yung shape nung brace mo. So, dito ang tawag X-brace, no? So, dito naman ang tawag chevron, no? Chevron brace or yung ibang tawag dito is inverted B, no? Inverted B brace, no? So, usually, yung mga brace na yan, ano yan, no? It's either tension or compression. Okay? So we would also design this one using the formula for tension members. Okay? How about for typical cross-section na ginagamit for tension members? So ito yung usual na ginagamit, no? round bar, obviously, flat bar, angle, or single angle sa trusses, no? Kapag hindi pag bumabagsak yan, so pwede mong i-double angle, no? Start angle, channel, no? Okay? Double channel, lattice channel, okay? Wide flange or low volute section, and mga built-up section like so. Okay? Ito yung mga usual na ano, ginagamit natin for tension members. Okay? Punta tayo sa code provisions. Okay? Now, in terms of tension member, sa code provision, maikli lang eh. No? Actually, 4 page lang yung tension member. No? Gusto ko lang ipapansin, no? Dun sa load and load combination, pinasok ni NSCP sa chapter 2. Okay? Si still design, no? Still design, present sa chapter or section 5. Okay? Section 5. Yung reinforced concrete nyo, kung di ako nagkakamali, chapter 4 eh. No? I think, no? So, lahat ng design for steel is nakapasok sa 504 and specifically for design of tension members, yung section 504, no? So ito na yung mga formula, no? So I was hoping na sana basahin nyo rin 'yan, no? Aside from my presentation kasi doon din naman galing yung mga ipapakita ko mamaya, no? So para ma-visualize nyo lang saan ba galing yung mga present ko kanina, no? And ma-verify nyo na tama yung mga formulas na ituturo ko sa inyo. Okay? So 4 pages lang 'yan, no? Maikli lang 'yan. But to summarize, yung pinaka-working theory natin for this code provisions, no? The strength design requirements, may it be LRFD or ASD, is that gawin nating P, no? Yung pinaka ano natin, yung pinaka force natin or strength natin is P sub U is should be less than or equal uh, P, no? Times P sub N uh, for LRFD, okay? And for ASD, it's P sub A should be less than or equal P sub N divided by omega. So parang dalawang beses natin inulit, no? Yung formula na to, no? Kanina on the previous slide. Okay, para ma-memorize nyo, no? Yung mga formulas na gagamitin natin. So again, itong mga values ng under strength natin, it varies depending on the mode of failure. In terms of tension or tensile strength, to give you an idea, ito yung mga included sa strength limit state, no? For example, yung yielding on gross area, no? Rupture on net area, black shear, bearing or tear out at bolts, no? So most likely, as of this discussion, we would, or for this chapter, we would discuss itong tatlo, itong first three. Itong tear out, papasok natin na to sa ano, kung di ako nagkakamali on bolted connection. No? Okay? Now, in terms of length, no? Kasi siguro may nagtatanong sa inyo, hanggang anong length ba ang nire-recognize, ang sinasuggest ni code in terms of tension members, no? To be specific, yung slenderness ratio na tinatawag, no? Wala pa tayo sa design of compression members, but to give you an idea, kapag sinabing slenderness ratio, yun yung L over R, no? Wherein yung L is the length of the member, R is the radius of gyration, no? Ang sabi ni NSAP, although this is not an official limit, but just a suggestion in terms of the slenderness, sabi niya it should not no greater than 300, no? 300. Just to take note lang, hindi ito applicable for rods, cables or hangers in tension. Okay? Um ang sabi, to give you an idea, kasi di ba, dapat yung mga members mo, in terms of length, meron din yan dapat limit, no? Ang gusto ko lang ipapansin, itong ano na to, itong limit na to, it follows yung yung slenderness. And usually slenderness is serviceability limit state, no? Hindi siya strength limit state. And most likely hindi naman siya kahit na hindi mo siya masunod, it would not cause unsafe condition. Okay? Pero ang mahirap kasi pag masyadong slender or masyadong mahaba ang member mo during fabrication, no, or during transport sa site, or sabihin natin during erection ng mga members mo, nag-ano na siya, no? Nagbe-bend na siya kasi masyadong mahaba, no? Pag hindi mo kinontrol yung length. So, para ma-prevent daw yung mga scenario na gano'n na magbe-bend yung mga members mo, wala ka pang nilalagay na load, nililimit ni ano ni code. And itong limit na to sufficient daw to ano, okay daw to for tension members, no. So ito lang yung ano, no, pinesend ko lang. Okay. Punta tayo sa types of failure. In terms of types of failure, for tension members, meron tayong common na dalawa or usual na dalawa, no. Number one, yung yielding failure, and yung number two, yung rupture failure. Okay? So punta tayo sa um, yielding failure. Okay? Discuss natin to. For yielding failure, I would like you to consider a flat plate, no? A flat plate shown, no? Dito sa figure. Okay? Now, itong flat plate na to, meron siyang connection, obviously, no? Connected siya, halimbawa, on multiple structural elements. Sabihin natin meron siyang connection at ends, no? So, meron kang, and sabihin natin we're using a bolted connection. So, meron tayong bolt holes, no? Now, since we applied load P, no? Sa kabilang side, load P din, opposite direction. If i-consider natin yung yielding failure, it would probably happen on the mid part, no? Mid part ng ating member. And assuming na we have a load P, no? And we continuously increase yung value ng ating load P. There's a certain point in time na kapag masyadong mataas na yung load P na yon, it would elongate, no? It would elongate and magkakaroon na siya ng tinatawag na necking, no? Necking. Now, pag nag-elongate na siya, we could say na nag-yield na yung ano mo, yung bakal mo, and na-reach na yung ano, yung stress na F sub y, no, dun sa ating stress strain diagram. So si code, no, kino-consider niya rin tong limit state na to para ano, to guard, no, against this form of failure, no, which is itong ang yielding in all of our structure. Okay. So again, i-ano lang natin, no? If we would cut a section here, no, dito sa bandang gitna, dun sa ating tension member, ang makikita nating section is gross area. Gross area, yung magi-yield, no? Yung magi-yield. Uh, And then in terms of ano naman, stress strain diagram, no, napakita na natin nakaraan. So assuming na meron tayong unloaded, no, or yung wala pang load na element, kapag nilagyan natin ng load yung member na yon, so it would elongate, no. So yung elongation na yon, ito nga yon, yung triangle, no. Okay? So in terms of yielding, nililimit kasi ni code in terms of the value ng Fy, no? Kasi iyan naman talaga yung counterpart niya, no? But if we would recap, no, yung na-discuss natin last time, okay? Na-discuss natin last time, um, ano ba? Ang sabi natin for the stress strain diagram, hindi ganito talaga yung ano, 'di ba? Yung itsura. So meron ka pang parang ah, ha- ha- pinaka-peak, no? Pinaka-peak. So tas bababa, no, magkakaroon ng fracture. So itong pinaka-peak, ito yung UTS, 'di ba? So ito although si code kasi ina-idealize niya yung sa string diagram in such a way na pagdating sa yielding, yung pinapagamit na lang na stress, limited lang sa FY. Limited sa FY. Okay? So ibig sabihin, no? For yielding failure as per the code, no, it would occur on the gross area or gross section ng member mo, and the nominal strength, no, nominal strength or nominal yield strength of tension member against yielding failure as per the code is as simple as nominal, no, ibig sabihin initial value, no, which is p sub n is equal to a sub g. Okay, yan yung area gross natin. Okay, which is alam natin yan, dapat yan yung area na perpendicular to the applied load. Okay? And it should be multiplied, no, by f sub y. Kasi limit lang naman tayo sa f sub y, ano. So yun yung ano, yield stress natin in MPA. So basically itong formula na to, kung babalikan nyo, it all boils down dito sa ano sa formula na alam niyo na, 'di ba? yung stress is equal to ano eh, no? P over A. So, i-rearrange mo lang yan. You could say na P or load is equal to ano, area times stress. Okay? So, doon lang galing yon yung formula na to. Okay? Okay? Um, okay na tayo sa nominal. So, paano natin i-convert to sa LRFD and sa ASD? So, ganun, ganun din, no? Itong formulas na to, yung gagamitin natin. So, sa tatlong beses ko ng present, no? So, for LRFD, para maging ano siya, no? Design tensile strength siya, gagamitin natin yung formula na P sub U is equal to P sub T times P sub M, no? And ipahanapin natin yung allowable tensile strength, which is for ASD, that is P sub A equals to P sub N over P sub T. And ang sabi ni Code, in terms of our under strength or strength reduction factor, P sub T, yung value natin is 0.9, no? Under yan ng LRFT, di ba? And omega sub T is equal to 1.67, which is for ASD naman. Okay? Gusto ko lang ipapansin na yung subscript natin dito, since we're talking about tension members, it's ano, T, no? Yung subscript na gagamitin natin. Okay? Sige. So, okay na tayo sa yielding. No? Hopefully, naintindihan nyo, no? Punta tayo sa rupture failure. Okay? For rupture failure, no, gusto kong i-visualize nyo ulit the same flat flat plate, no? But you would now consider yung pinaka-connections natin, no? Kung saan meron tayong mga bolt holes. Now, i-zoom in natin yung ating connection like so, and mag-cut tayo dito ng section, no? Section X. Ang makikita nating area, itong pinaka-net area. So, yung area na magre-resist talaga nung applied load P is itong blue lang, no? Yung naka-highlight na blue lang. Kasi nga, meron ka ng bolt holes, no? So, yan yung net area natin na magre-resist ng applied load. Now, ang nangyayari sa rupture, ibang term din na ginagamit ng mga books is fracture, no? Fracture or parang kumbaga magka-crack or sabihin natin mapupunit yung ano mo, yung plate mo at this ano section. Okay? Um and then alam naman natin no, pagdating sa stress strain diagram, okay? Ang counterpart na stress nito, yung pinaka-limit nito would be yung ano, yung pinaka-peak, 'di ba? Yung sa stress strain diagram yung pinaka-peak which is yung ating UTS. Ang counterpart nun yung ultimate yield strength, no? F sub U. Okay? Um, okay, so basically in terms of rupture kasi although yung ito yung another example no na connection yung stresses initial stresses dito are usually include the stress concentration due to higher strain dito sa mga locations na to no we usually simplify it na we're using the average stresses no for our design okay and then usually sinisimplify natin and pinipili lang natin yung section cut na gagamitin natin okay okay so ang magiging formula natin doon i-present ko mamaya okay pero gusto ko lang sigurong i-discuss yung concept ng ah, transfer of loads from the plate no going to the bolts and going to dun sa another connected plate ulit itong sabihin natin gasket plate to no so meron tayong tension plate meron tayong bolts and meron tayong gasket plate no so paano ba nata-transfer yung mga loads dun sa ating connection so ang sagot doon is depende kung ano yung section cut in consideration okay so halimbawa no sige inaayos natin tong presentation natin dito no kasi maraming student na no nalilito kung paano ba nangyayari yung transfer of forces sa connection so i-include ko tong mga slides na to, no? So basically, in terms of this consideration, no? Sabihin natin meron tayong applied load P sub n na going to the right, no? I-resist yan ng mga bolts mo. Okay? I-resist siya ng mga bolts mo. And magtutulong-tulong yung mga bolts mo, ang gagawin, ang mangyayari is it would be equally divided, no? Yung reaction due to load P sub n. So ayun, no? Meron kang reaction, okay, equally shared by the bolts. So the plate daw will fail in the line with the highest force for similar number of bolts in each line. So ibig sabihin, para mas makita nyo na lang, okay, meron tayong bolt line 1, bolt line 2, and bolt line 3. Ang usual na nangyayari, kung sino yung bolt line na may pinakamataas na force na magre-resist, no, is siya yung usually nag-rupture or siya yung nagpe-fail, no, in terms of rupture. Sabi sa figure na to, ang sabi, each bolt line shown transfer one-third of the total force. So bakit? Kasi nga, anim yung bolts natin, no? Obviously, it would be equally shared. So ibig sabihin, yung isang bolt would carry 1 over 6 PN. Okay? 1 over 6 PN. Now, since ang usapan natin is per bolt line, tama lang na sabihin natin na 2 over 6 yung load na binubuhat ng isang bolt line. Okay? So 2 over 6 is one-third, no? One-third of the total force. Now, for you to further visualize, no? Isa-isahin natin. By the way, no? Yung ating lagi kong i-emphasize, no? Kapag nag-check ka ng rupture, we're talking about the net area reduced by the whole area. Okay? Ngayon, isa-isahin natin, no? Punta tayo dito ngayon sa section cut 1 or bolt line 1. Ganito kasi mangyayari diyan, no? Pag andito yung ating rupture, no? Rupture ng ating plate. Ang nangyayari diyan is ganito, no? Pag naglagay tayo ng load P, no? And assuming na diyan nag-rupture, imaginein mo na lang itong highlighted na part na to nung top plate, no? Yung darker gray na plate. Matatanggal siya, no? Matatanggal siya or maalis siya. So may iwan lang ito. Okay? So pag natanggal siya, i-check mo ngayon yung reaction dun sa mga bolts, no? So you could see na nung natanggal siya, ang reaction dun sa mga bolts mo is anim pa din, no? Anim pa din or ang counterpart ng anim na reaction na yon is yung pa ding P sub n, no? Yung pa ding P sub n. So ibig sabihin pala, pagdating sa rupture at this bolt line, the total load na i-resist nung section cut mo na to or yung bolt line mo na yan is yung load P sub n. Okay? P sub n. Now, punta tayo dito sa bolt line 1. Okay? Now, pagdating sa bolt line 1, ganun pa din, no? Imaginein mo, matatanggal tong plate na to kapag yung rupture mo nangyari dito kay bolt line 1. Okay? Now, i-check mo ulit, ano ba yung reaction na natira sa plate, no? Dun sa naiwan, okay? So, kung bibilangin mo yun, that is ano, no? 4, no? 4 over 6. Okay? Yun yung bubuhatin or acting dun sa rupture or dun sa ano, sa section cut or sa bolt line number 2. Okay? So kung that is 4 over 6, ang counterpart nun is 2 over 3 P sub N, no? Yung nominal load na in-apply mo. Okay? So ibig sabihin yun yung bubuhatin ng bolt line 1. Okay? And lastly, no? Kung dito naman tayo mag-rupture sa bolt line 3, okay? Imagine mo matatanggal tong highlighted na yan and therefore kung bibilangan mo yung reaction na naiwan sa section cut na yon, we have 2 over 6 and 2 over 6 is equal to 1 over 3 P sub n. Okay? So kung i-compare mo talaga yung lahat ng bolt line, yung critical doon, itong bolt line 1. Okay? Kasi siya yung may pinakamataas na reaction. Okay? Doon sa plate mata-transfer sa plate. Okay? Bakita ko na din, no? What if mag-section cut ako dito sa bandang last part ng ating member. Okay? So pag nag-section cut ka doon, obviously, wala nang matatanggal na yung lahat ng plate. Wala ka ng forces doon. So zero na yung mag-resist na papunta sa left. Okay? Okay, to summarize, pagdating sa transfer of forces, bolt line 1 would resist P sub n, no, in the plate. Bolt line 2 would resist 2/3 P sub n in the plate. And yung bolt line 3 would resist 1/3 P sub n in the plate. Okay? So ang critical dito, again, is yung section cut at bolt line 1. Okay? Pagdating sa design ng ating connection. Okay? for the rupture. And to summarize, no, yung ating rupture failure, again, our nominal, no, rupture capacity or strength is would occur on the net section, and the formula natin for the nominal strength against rupture is P sub n is equal to A sub E, no, or the effective net area na tinatawag in millimeters squared multiplied by yung limit na stress, no, which is the F sub U, okay? Which is the tensile stress, no, ng ating steel. Okay? Now, yung same set of formula for the design tensile strength, no? So pang-lima na ata to na present ulit natin. Ganun pa din, no? For LRFD, no? P sub U is equal to P sub T times P sub N. And allowable strength naman, ganun pa din. Okay? Ang nagbago lang dito, as you can see, yung under strength na gagamitin natin. For LRFD, which is yung ating reduction factor, strength reduction factor, we would use 0.75. No? Kanina sa yielding 0.9. Eh. While kay omega sub t, for under ASD, we would use 2. Okay? 2. Okay? So yan yung ano, ito na yung pinaka-overall formula natin. No? Pakitake note na lang to in terms of A sub E calculations. No? Um, so na pakita na natin yung formula, no? And mga equations na gagamitin natin for yielding and rupture. So may tanong ako ngayon, no? Kung observant kayo, no? Kung observant kayo. Kasi if we would compare yung value nung strength reduction factor na lang, yung P sub T, no? For yielding and for rupture, magkaiba yung value, no? Yung sa yielding is 0.9, yung kay rupture is 0.75, no? So ano sa palagay niyo yung reason bakit magkaiba yung strength reduction factor nung dalawang mode of failure? And ano sa palagay niyo yung ano, yung explanation dito, the code, no? No? Kasi sabi ko sa inyo, pag binigyan ka ng value sa code, eh alam mo naman kung ano yung reason. Huwag yung tatanggapin mo kagad, no? Para mas mataas yung retention sa'yo, okay? Okay? So anyone, sige, recitation tayo, no? Baka tingnan natin kung may makakasagot, no? Ano sa palagay nyo yung reason bakit magkaiba, no? Yung value ng reduction factor na ginagamit natin. Okay? Dito na lang tayo sa LRFT mag-focus sa ngayon. Okay? Sa ASD, magkaiba din. Ano? Anyone in the group?
Ako po, sir.
Yes. Sino ba yun? Mr. Binduan. Tama ba?
Ano po, sir? Yung yielding po kasi, kaya po mataas po yung reduction factor niya po compared sa rupture. Kasi yung yielding po, nagpapakita po siya ng sign bago po mag-failure. Yung sa rupture po kasi, kaya mababa po yung reduction factor niya po. Hindi na po kasi siya nagpapakita ng sign bago po failure po.
Okay. So, bakit ngayon magkaiba yung value? So, ano ngayon yun? Kung may sign or may warning o wala? So, anong ano nun? Anong issue nun?
Yung yielding po kasi sir, ano po kasi siya eh, isa siyang ductile po. Ah, kumbaga, dumadaan po muna siya sa plastic deformation po, kung di po ako nagkakamali. Kumbaga, para po siya, nagbe-bend po muna siya. Then, yung sa, yung sa rupture po, bigla na lang po siyang, bibigay po. Kaya, inano po ng inisipin na mas taas po yung sa yielding po compared po sa Rapture po.
Okay, sige. So, basically, tama explanation ni Mr. Binduan, no? Andun na yung, ano eh, andun na yung gist of, ano eh, no? Sa explanation niya. But, to give you an idea, no? Again, kung babalikan natin yung formula, no, quickly lang, dito sa, sa LRFD, no, yung talagang design strength mo, P sub U, okay? Um, P sub U. So, ang sabi niya, no, yung nominal capacity mo you would reduce that by a certain value. Okay? Which is yun nga, yung kinumpir na natin, 0.9 sa yielding and 0.75 sa rupture. So parang lumalabas pagdating kay yielding, yung 10% doon tapon, 90% lang nung nominal capacity mo yung gagamitin. Okay? Pero kay rupture, mas mababa, no? Kumbaga kay rupture, 25% tapon na yon, yung 75% lang ng nominal capacity mo yung gagamitin mo. Okay? So tama yung sinabi niya, no, ni Mr. Bingluan, kasi kung mapapansin nyo, no, itong yielding, this is a member failure, no? Member failure. While itong rupture, this is a connection failure. Kapag sinabi nating member failure, yun nga, ductile yun kasi mag-yield. Kumbaga, meron kang um, may yielding na mangyayari. While si rupture, usually ang counterpart nito is connection failure or brittle na failure na parang usually walang warning kapag dating pag nag-rupture. Okay? So, since critical si connection failure or brittle failure and we don't want this to happen, no, we don't want this to happen, what we want to happen is yung ductile or yung member failure. Ang ginagawa ni code, pinipenalize niya or kumbaga may penalty si rupture and mas mataas yung penalty niya. So ano yung penalty na ginawa niya? Yun nga, yung 25% dun sa nominal capacity mo, useless na yun. 75% lang yung gagamitin mo. Okay? So let me actually andito na yung explanation, no. We don't want connection failure to happen, no? As much as possible, we want member failure to happen first before the connection failure. Okay? Kaya ito no, mga tip ko na lang to kapag magdi-design na kayo ng structure ng mga buildings nyo, make sure na lagi dapat mauuna yung member failure or ibig sabihin dapat mas mababa yung capacity ng member failure in comparison with the connection failure. Okay? Kaya pagdating sa connection design, pag dumating tayo doon, lagi talaga na na sinisync natin yung strength ng connection with the member. Okay? Yun talaga yung number one rule. Okay? So, yun yung explanation, no? Pinapenalize ni code kapag connection failure ka by incorporating a smaller reduction factor. Okay? Sige, gusto ko lang i-emphasize din to, no? Yung relationship ng omega and P, no? Ito yung equation niya. Omega daw is equal to 1.5 divide P, no? Kumbaga, kung makalimutan mo man yon, ito, makalimutan mo man tong value ng omega for yielding, pero alam mo yung value na 0.9, okay? So, i-calculate mo lang siya as depicted doon. So, you would have no? 0.9 divided by 1.5. So you would have, baliktad, no? Yung equation pala doon ay 1.5 divided by 0.9. Okay? So you would have 1.67. Okay? So yun yung counterpart na value ng omega. Okay? So yun, pinakita ko lang, no? Pakicheck na lang din for rupture pero ganun din yung lalabas. Okay? Okay? Since we're talking about areas, no, and dimensions, we need to also discuss yung bolt holes. Okay? Yung bolt holes, especially pag bolted connection tayo. Okay? Now, um, for rupture kasi 'di ba nangyayari sa sa section cut na may bolts. Now, obviously, kung gusto mong maipasok yung bolts mo dun sa hole or yung tinatawag nating bolt hole, dapat mas malaki yung diameter nitong bolt hole versus the diameter ng ating bolts. No? Common sense 'yon, no? Ay kung mas maliit ito, hindi mo mapasok itong diameter ng bolts. Um, and therefore, yun nga, as we have mentioned, the bolt hole diameter should be bigger than the bolt diameter. And to guide yung mga engineer, on what diameter yung gagamitin sa bolt hole, present yun ni NSCP, no? Sa table na to. Okay? And yung title is Nominal Hole Dimension. No? Nominal Hole Dimensions. So check natin to, itong table na to. Nakalagay dito bolt diameter yung sa column na to. Okay? So pipili ka. Okay? So halimbawa, sabihin natin 20. No? And then on this column, yung hole dimensions, may apat na category. No? Ito yung apat na category. No? Standard diameter. Ito yun. No? Oversized diameter. So obviously, mas malaki, no? Sa common, and yung short slatted and long slatted. Now, common sense yun, no? Kung 20 yung bolt diameter natin and sabihin natin standard diameter ng hole ang gagamitin, ang magiging nominal hole dimensions natin dapat is 22 millimeter. So mas mataas kumpara dun sa bolt diameter para magkasya. So ito pala yung magiging guide natin, no? Ah, ito yung susundan natin to define yung nominal bolt hole dimensions natin, itong table na to. Okay? So malinaw 'yun, no? Itong table na to. Okay? Um, pero meron pa tayong dapat isang i-consider, okay? Which is i-represent ko dito ngayon, no? In terms of our total calculations, okay? Now, gusto ko kasing ipapansin sa inyo itong pinaka-figure na to, okay? Yung imagine mo na lang itong blue would be your bolt diameter, okay? Bolt diameter. Now, itong uh, dimension na d sub h, no? Small letter d sub h, ito yung diameter of your hole, no? Which is yung kinuha nga natin kanina on the previous table, no? On the previous slide. Okay? So ito yung diameter of hole natin. But ang sabi kasi ni code, in terms of net area calculation, no? Specifically ito yung binabanggit ni code, no? In computing net area daw for tension and shear, the width of a bolt hole shall be taken 2 millimeter greater than, okay? Greater than what? Greater than the nominal dimension of the whole. Okay, let me repeat, no? Nominal dimension of the whole, which is ito yung table galing dun sa previous slide. Okay? So ang sabi niya, from those value on the previous slide, mag-add ka pa ng additional na 2 millimeter, 2 millimeters. And yung explanation dyan ni Code is obviously, no, during during punching, no, during punching or sabihin nating laser cutting nung ating nominal bolt hold dimension, hindi talaga na-achieve yung desired diameter. Ang nangyayari, mas malaki pa, no? Mas malaki pa kasi during that process, nadadamage daw yung iba dun sa diameter ng ating nominal hole and lumalaki, no? Lumalaki. So to account for that damage portion, ang sabi lang ni code ni NSCP, mag-add ka ng 2 millimeter. 2 millimeter. Okay? So ibig sabihin, yung final, no? Final natin na design hole diameter would be the diameter of bolt, okay, as you can see here, plus yung tolerance, no? Yung tolerance is as simple as yung value, no? Yung difference nung nominal hole diameter na nandun sa table kanina minus yung diameter of bolt. Papakita natin mamaya kung paano kinakalculate to. Basta galing yan sa table plus yung 2 millimeter na matic, isang value lang yan for the damage portion. Okay? As simple as this, no? So sana wag kayong malito, no? Ito talaga yung formula natin. And gusto ko lang i-take note, pag sa problem, ang binigay is nominal hole dimensions na, wala nang bolt diameter. Okay? Parang ito na talaga yung binigay, no? Standard halimbawa, no, ginamit. Magbabago yung ano mo, ano? Magbabago yung equation mo kasi nominal hole dimensions na yung binigay, no? So, ibig sabihin, plus 2 millimeter na lang yung gagamitin mo, no? So, may mga student kasi na naglito about doon. Okay? By the way, pag chinek mo si AISC, in terms of the calculation ng 2 millimeter, ang sabi ni AISC, ang counterpart niya daw is gamit ka daw ng 1/16 inch, no, na adjustment doon sa bolt hole. Okay? To account for daw damage during fabrication. So yung 1/16 kasi in terms of millimeter, no, inches to millimeter, times lang natin ng 25.4, di ba? So we would have 1.6 millimeter, no? Na value. So ang ginagawa kasi ni Asep, mahilig siyang mag-round up. So from 1.6 naging 2 millimeter, no? So ganun lang yung ano, history, no? Dito sa mga values from Asep, okay? So another ano parameters na kailangan nating i-master yung calculation ng steel areas. But for now, let's skip this one, no? Let's try to discuss this kapag nandun na tayo sa problem para mahimay-himay siya ng maayos, no? But again, ito yung mga ano, steel areas na kailangan natin. Gross area, net area, and the effective net area. No? So, tatlo yan. AGA and AE. Okay? Balikan natin yan mamaya pag andyan na tayo. Okay?